Bonjour and bienvenue. This is Fabulously Delicious, the French food podcast, the show that's your ticket to all things French cuisine. From the buttery croissants of Paris to the finest wines of Burgundy, we explore the food culture that has shaped modern gastronomy and continues to inspire taste buds worldwide. French cooking isn't just about recipes, it's about passion, history, and the art of savouring life, one bite at a time. On this podcast, we dive into the stories behind iconic dishes, discover hidden culinary gems, and meet the incredible people, chefs, artisans, and home cooks who bring these flavours to life. I'm your host, Andrew Pryor. Enchanté.
Enchanté.
Once I was a contestant on MasterChef Australia, and now I'm living my best life right here in the French countryside. Here I spend my days cooking, tasting, exploring, and celebrating the extraordinary food, wine, and traditions of this beautiful country. And I can't wait to share all of it with you, my fabulously delicious audience. The Crêpe Suzette is one of France's most flamboyant and iconic desserts. Thin crepes drenched in a rich orange butter sauce, ignited at the table in a burst of theatrical flair. But where did this dazzling dish actually come from? In this episode of Fabulously Delicious, we dive into the fascinating and often disputed origins of the Crêpe Suzette, from royal dining accidents and Parisian-style performances to culinary legends like Escoffier. Was it a happy mistake, a theatrical trick, or a romantic gesture for a king? Join us as we explore the stories behind the flame. So grab a glass of wine, that's if you're not driving of course, tear off a chunk of baguette, smear a creamy bit of camembert on top, maybe some delicious saucisson, and get ready to indulge in another mouth-watering journey. Welcome to Fabulously Delicious. The Crêpe Suzette. Just saying the name evokes an air of elegance, charm, and perhaps a little drama. This classic French dessert is a beguiling combination of delicate crepes bathed in a buttery, citrusy, boozy sauce known as a beurre Suzette. A heavenly concoction of caramelized sugar, butter, tangerine or orange juice, zest, and of course a generous splash of Grand Marnier, triple sec, or another orange liqueur. But what truly sets the Crêpe Suzette apart is the theatre of it all. Imagine this, your dessert arrives and instead of simply placing it before you, the server lights it on fire. Yes, flambéed right there at the table. The flames leaping up dramatically from the pan, perfuming the air with the scent of caramelized citrus and spirit, before settling into a glistening sauce coating those delicate crepes. It's not just dessert, it's a performance. But where does this flamboyant, fiery treat come from? That, my fabulously delicious audience, is a tale with as many layers as the crepes themselves. The origins of the Crêpe Suzette, both in terms of the dish itself and its rather charming name, have been wildly debated over the years. There's several stories that vie for the honour of having invented the decadent dish. Some involve royalty, others actresses, and still others including legendary chefs. So today, let's dive into the delightful and slightly mysterious history of the Crêpe Suzette. By the end, you can decide for yourself which story you find the most deliciously believable. Perhaps the most famous version of the Crêpe Suzette origin story belongs to Henri Charpentier, a French-born chef who would later gain fame in America. The year was 1895, and young Henri, at just 14 years of age, was working as an assistant waiter at the Café de Paris in Monte Carlo. According to Henri, one evening he was preparing a dessert for none other Edward the Prince of Wales, the future King Edward VII of the United Kingdom. Dining with the prince that evening was a beautiful young French woman named Suzette. Henri intended to serve the prince a simple dessert of crepes and fruit. But as he worked over a chafing dish, disaster, or perhaps divine inspiration, struck. Here's what Henri wrote about the moment in his memoir. It was quite by accident, as I worked in front of a chafing dish, that the cordials caught fire. I thought it was ruined. The prince and his friends were waiting. How could I begin all over? I tasted it. It was, I thought, the most delicious medley of sweet flavours I'd ever tasted. I still think so. Instead of panicking, Henri decided to serve the dish as it was, flambéed and all. The prince adored it. So much so that he asked for the name. Henri had intended to call it Crêpe Princesses, in honour of the royal guests. But the prince, gesturing to Suzette, insisted it be named after the lady present. Will you, he reportedly asked, change Crêpe Princess to Crêpe Suzette? And so the flambéed crepe dish was, according to Henri, named and born. As a token of gratitude, Henri claimed he received a gift from the prince the next day, a jewelled ring, a Panama hat and a cane. Not a bad reward for a kitchen mishap turned culinary triumph. Later in life, during an interview in the 1950s, the American author Elise Lee interviewed Henri about this account. He elaborated on the dish's origin. He said it was inspired by a sweet pancake dish his foster mother made on very special occasions, usually served with a fruit sauce. The addition of orange liqueur and flambéing was his own twist, which, whilst an accident, became signature. Yet not everybody believed Henri's story. Enter the Larousse Gastronomique, a skeptical source. The esteemed culinary encyclopedia, the Larousse Gastronomique, casts serious doubt on Henri's account. First published in 1938, Larousse is a revered reference for all things French and gastronomic. According to its editors, it is rather unlikely that a 14-year-old assistant waiter, as Henri claimed to be at the time, would have been allowed to serve the Prince of Wales directly, or even be tasked with preparing a dish tableside for royalty. Indeed, in the strict brigade-style kitchen hierarchies of the day, such an honour would have gone to the head waiter or chef, not a teenage apprentice. Whether Henri embellished the story or truly was present remains unclear, but his version certainly makes for a memorable tale. Dreaming of Paris, or maybe you're already lucky enough to live in a city of lights, love and good food. Either way, let's talk about the most delicious part of Paris, its food. As someone who's had the absolute pleasure of calling Paris home, I spent years exploring its incredible culinary treasures, and now I want to help you discover them too. That's why I wrote Paris, a fabulous food guide to the world's most delicious city. This is a 2025 edition, and it's the ultimate foodie passport to Paris. It features over 400 hand-picked recommendations that will make your taste buds dance to joy. From the city's best boulangeries to cosy cafes, indulgent chocolate shops, must-visit fromageries, and more. This guide has it all. And that's not all. I've added brand new sections for vegan and vegetarian dining, where to find the best views in Paris to eat your meal by, and a freshly expanded food walking tour to help you eat your way through the city like a pro. Whether you're craving flaky pastries, creamy cheeses, an unforgettable dining experience, this guide has got it for you. Ready to explore Paris like never before? Then get your copy today at andrewpryorfabulously.com. For a signed or gift package version even, and you can find it on Amazon, and there's even a Kindle version if you want instant access. Your Parisian food adventure awaits. Bon voyage and bon appetit. Another story links the dish to Suzette Reichenberg, a celebrated French actress in the late 19th century, who often performed under the stage name Suzette. She was a member of the prestigious Comédie Française and made her debut in 1868. Known for her roles as an ingenue, she brought charm and wit to the stage. In 1897, Reichenberg appeared in a play at the Comédie Française, portraying a maid who served crepes on stage during a scene to make the food more visually enticing and to ensure it stayed warm under the theatre lights. The crepes were flambéed. The man behind this dramatic culinary flourish? Monsieur Joseph, owner of the nearby restaurant Marivaux. Joseph's flambeing of the crepes added a sense of spectacle, which delighted both actors and audience. The association of the dish with Suzette's stage presence could very well have given the dish its name, a theatrical dessert born in the theatre. How perfectly French. We can't talk about historic French dishes without invoking Auguste Escoffier, the father of modern French cuisine. Escoffier was working at London's Savoy Hotel in the 1890s, and he reportedly prepared a similar dish to the Crêpe Suzette during his tenure there. He had access to Grand Marnier, which was a relatively new liqueur at the time and became a key component of the dish. Interestingly though, in his culinary guide, Le Guide Culinaire, Escoffier includes a recipe for crepes with orange liqueur, though it's not flambéed. It's possible Escoffier helped standardize the dish into what we now recognize, even if he wasn't the first to name or flame the dessert. And then there's the most romantic version of them all. According to one tale, the dish was named in honor of Princess Suzette de Carnigan, who fell hopelessly in love with King Louis XV in France. She allegedly asked chef Jean Roubaud to create a special dish for the king, hoping to win his heart through his stomach. Whilst charming, this version, well, it lacks concrete evidence and seems more folklore than fact. Still, in a country like France, where love and food are often linked, it's easy to imagine a love-struck princess using a buttery crepe as a token of affection. On the Great British Menu, actually, just recently, in their final for the desserts, Prue Leaf, the former judge of the Great British Menu and the Great British Bake Off, said that Alexis Soyer invented the flame lamp to cook the Crêpe Suzette. Today, the Crêpe Suzette remains a popular dessert in France and around the world. But just like its origin story, it has many variations that reflect both regional creativity and culinary evolution. Take the Micheline Crêpe from Bordeaux, named in tribute to beloved TV host Micheline Crêpe. This version follows the same method as Crêpe Suzette, but swaps the orange and the citrus components for chocolate hazelnut spread. Yes, think Nutella. And flambés the dessert with whiskey instead of the orange liqueur. A rich modern twist for chocolate lovers. Do you love French food as much as I do? Then let's take this passion beyond the podcast. On Instagram, at Andrew Pryor Fabulously, I'm sharing even more facts about French food and the delicious stories that make French cuisine so iconic. Come join our fabulously delicious growing community when your passport to French foodie heaven is just a follow away. See you there, mes amis. Here's my final thoughts on the Crêpe Suzette. It's more than just a dessert. It's a slice of French history. Theatre, romance, and culinary ingenuity all rolled into one delicate liqueur-soaked crepe. Whether you believe it was born in a Monte Carlo kitchen, on a Parisian stage, or in the halls of a royal court, one thing is for certain. It's a dish that leaves an impression. So next time you're in France, or at a restaurant that dares to serve at tableside, order a Crêpe Suzette. Watch the flames dance, breathe in the orange-scented steam, take that first bite, and you might just find yourself transported, if only for a moment, into one of those delicious legends. Bonjour, fabulous listener. Are you part of the fabulously delicious Substack newsletter community yet? If not, you're truly missing out. Whether you're a French food lover, a francophile, or simply curious about life in France, my newsletter is your backstage pass to all things fabulous. By signing up, you'll unlock exclusive stories and behind-the-scenes insights, special offers just for my cherished community, delicious, inspiring content about French cuisine and culture. And the best part? You can choose a free subscription or an upgrade to a paid one for even more fabulous perks. So why wait? Click on the link in the notes for this episode or visit andrewpryorfabulously.com to join today. Let's explore the delicious world of French food and life in France together. Here's some quotes that I found about the Crêpe Suzette. The first two come from Henri Charpentier. That accident of the flame was precisely what was needed to bring all those various instruments into one harmonious taste. He also said, one taste of which I really believe would reform a cannibal into a civilized gentleman. And the beloved Julia Child said, a crepe is a beautiful thing, versatile, elegant, and ready to receive any filling or flourish. Fabulously Delicious is part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Join us as we explore the delicious world of French cuisine and culture alongside a fantastic lineup of podcasts. Stay tuned for more fabulous content and delightful conversations. And that's a wrap for this episode of Fabulously Delicious. Had you heard of the Crêpe Suzette before? What's the most fabulous thing that you discovered today? Whether it's a fun fact, a recipe idea, or a deeper appreciation for French cuisine, I'd love to know your thoughts. Slide into my DMs at Andrew Pryor Fabulously on Instagram, or you can email me at contact@andrewpryorfabulously.com. Let's connect, chat about Crêpe Suzettes, French food, or anything delicious. I'm always here for a good food conversation. It's one of the best ways to bring people together, don't you think? If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to share it with friends and family or anybody who loves French food as much as we do. Your support means the world and it helps keep the Fabulously Delicious journey going. And hey, if you're feeling extra fabulous, why not leave a review? It helps more foodies discover the show, and I'd be so grateful. A 5-star one would be fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me. Your love of French food and culture inspires every episode, and I'm so glad to have you going along for the ride. Remember my motto, whatever you do it fabulously. Merci beaucoup, and as always, bon appétit. Until next time, au revoir.